Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. When I last posted it was September the 4th, and we were expecting rain that night, 60% chance, but that chance went away and our rain was non-existent. We did not get that rain, but it did bring some cooler weather. I was disappointed, very much so. I was looking so forward to not having to water Sunday. But we're definitely, even though we have cooler mornings and cooler evenings now, but we're still getting the hot summer days. But when I didn't get the rain I was wanting so badly, I tried to do like David and encourage myself in the Lord, and I told myself that I was lucky enough to have a well and that I could water, even though if you garden you know that watering gets to be a tiring, endless job before summer's over. And also right now, today, I'm just happy that we have a day pretty enough to come outside, even though it's supposed to get hot sometime during the day. So I'm going to try to just enjoy the time that I have in the garden this morning and get a few clips for you. And I was going to say that it's a great time of the year to be looking, if you garden and save up things for next year like I do, which I know some people want to put it away, and believe you me, I do too, put it away for the winter. But during the fall season I love to look around and see. They put things on sale and you can find some beautiful garden pieces. This little piece I just showed you is one of them, this little bird that I found just recently. Let's see, what day was it? It was Tuesday that we went. Actually it was Labor Day, Monday, Labor Day, that we went and did a little shopping and found some of these items. The one in the back I already had, of course, but it just worked so perfectly with this little singing bird. This is another little item that I found. Isn't it cute? And I found my clay pots. That was my main reason for going ahead and doing it now, because we were so tired and stressed out and had full days behind us and full days ahead of us. So it was not really a good time to just go shopping, but it was a wonderful time in that we found some of the things that we needed. So when I bring my plants in this month, later on this month, I will have some clay pots to put them in, and hopefully they'll have a better chance than they've been having of living in my house. And I don't know, we'll see if that'll make any difference at all. And also I got some more stuff ready for my friend Erica, and this is one of them, this little sedum. I'm getting it started, and I wanted to use the pretty pink so that she would have her pink and yellow garden all fixed up. And I actually found a couple of little stakes for her because I thought they would just fit so perfectly. They just had her name on them when I was looking, and so I purchased those for her. And when I take her plants, I'll take those to her also. This is another item that I found, and I thought it was so pretty, and I know it's pink and yellow, but this little one's going to stay home with me. I just really liked her. And then this morning I went down to see if I could find something to put some wandering Jew in, something where it would have room to spill over the side, so something tall and wide enough to put a plant in, which I did not find, but I'll still look for that. But I found these little items which are just perfect for the garden, so I sprayed those, and as soon as they're dry I'll find a little home for them. Aren't they pretty? This one of course will be to remind me of my sister Jetty, which I need no really reminding, but I just like to have things in my garden that remind me of my loved ones. This would be for my baby sister, who I started calling my teddy bear when she was just a little tiny thing, and it just kind of stayed with her a little bit, enough that she has the nostalgia of it. And these are angels, which would be for my sister Christine. And I just love the angels in the garden anyway, especially when they, as you can see, have the flowers on them, so they'll fit right in. And then also I found this little angel, and this is not where I'll probably leave it, but that's a good place for her for right now. And I took my little pups out of this pot where this one had put on little pups, put them in these little clay pots that I recently purchased too, and they'll be ready to give away to someone, because I do not have a lot of room in my house. I do want to keep my original, but I would like to go ahead and give these away to some of my sisters or nieces or whoever wants one. My friend Ruby wants one, I think. We'll see. She may already have gotten one by the time I get these to her. And I've been doing some robbing Peter to pay Paul. I took the little plant stand, that small one, out of this pot and put this bigger one that I also found on sale, a bid on sale, and I purchased it and put it in this little pot and put this little teddy bear on top of it. I think it looks good there. And I put the other one in the back where I've been wanting something to set my little angel up in that pot. Also, while I'm here, I purchased another one of the taller than the plant stands I have. This one is, and the one that I put my foxtail fern on, and I wanted this one for my airplane plant. There's another name for it and I'm not thinking of it right now, but I thought it would probably have little airplane babies starts on it, but I didn't see any. But it still looks good and I'm glad it's there. But you can get the idea, if little airplanes were floating out around it, how pretty it would be there. I put my other little recently purchased plant stand in this pot, and I'm going to try to put this little angel up on it. There, isn't she lovely? Wouldn't it be wonderful if the weather was always so nice that we could come out and play in our gardens all day long? But I don't know about where you garden, but for me, someone said just recently that we have 2 seasons, summer and winter, and that's been about the way it is, because we go from the really hot season right into a frost. So, but I hope we don't do that. I hope I have to eat my words and that's not the way it happened. But you know, this year we've also had rains that more than, not too many or anything like that, just enough to keep us going better than we normally had. But because I'm not used to that, I didn't know that it can also cause problems, because I've had more fungus, and I think it comes from the heat and the water together. It just puts the conditions just right for fungus to set in, and I actually lost my 9-bark, unless I should be lucky enough that it would come back from the root, but so far I see no signs of it. I'm so disappointed. And this is where I put my little stand to put my angel up where she needed to be. She's been needing to be up higher all summer long, so you could see her in this little pot. She just adds that little extra something that makes this pot stand out. I've been wanting to get out and clean out where there's a bunch of overgrowth and a bunch of stuff that's died out. And I tried to start a little plant in this pot, which did not start, and summer's heat. I'll have to redo that. I need to clean all my bird baths, which I've only cleaned one, but it's just so hot to do that right now that I probably will still wait until we have some cooler weather. This little trellis right here is another one of my items that I purchased Monday. So I think I did pretty well finding stuff for the garden that I didn't really even think of. I was just thinking of getting my clay pots mainly, and maybe looking around a little to just see what was there, but I just felt like there were things there that I wanted badly enough to just go ahead and purchase, and I'm glad I did because I feel good about having them in the garden. They do seem to add a little something that makes it look pretty to me. I'll be glad when all of these little zinnias grow up, if they get the chance to, and I hope they do, because even just these few that have are so pretty. Even though some of my other zinnias are getting this bedraggled look on them, but I'm not ready to cut these down just yet either, just because they're still beautiful too. I love this little I forget the name of it. It's like a little flat top zinnia, and it just gets so big and bright and beautiful. I would like even more of these in the garden. You know, I think it was Art Linkletter that long ago, that on, you know, kids say the darndest things. I used to watch that, and it's so cute. And this little girl, they had them finishing sentences, and hers was, "If the shoe fits," and she thought a minute and said, "Buy it in every color." And the whole crowd roared. I did too, and I was sitting at home. I'm like, perfect answer. It worked better than wear it. So that was great. And this is one thing I've been wondering too, is if this little Rudbeckia, I just think this has been so pretty this year, and I wonder if I can get it started from seed. So I need to get online and read about that and just see if I can tell, if it tells me anything about whether it's easy to start from seed or what I need to do that. The little items on this stand, some were found on sale, and then some were found at our local thrift store. So don't count that out. I've found several things that I just love for the garden in our local thrift store. And I noticed today when I went down there that someone had actually taken and divided their daylilies and put the divisions that they didn't need any longer in their garden down at the Etc. shop. So I hope someone purchases those before they ruin. I hope they get to go back in someone else's garden. Wouldn't that be great? I usually use everything until it's too dilapidated to take to a thrift store, but if it's not, I would take it to a thrift store too, because you never know what someone else could use. And even if they don't use it for the purpose it's originally intended for, there may be a purpose for it, just like putting some of these little resin things in the garden. It's just perfect for the garden. This one I actually purchased from a catalog. I thought it was so cute. It's like, yoo-hoo, come over here and look. My little begonias are doing so well after I took them out of their box, and they were kind of all squished together, but they've kind of opened up good, and they do have spots on them from I'm sure from heat and wind, the elements, and probably from grasshoppers, because we definitely have our share of grasshoppers. But they have done well out here, very well. And so I'm a little bit scared to take them in, but I will. I know they won't live out. They're not a hardy plant by any means, so they will come inside. And oh, am I ever hoping and praying that they come back out and live? Wouldn't it be great to get some that just live for years and years and grew bigger and more beautiful each year? And I'll probably have to keep this little aloe vera too, just simply because I was telling my sister how lousy I am with aloe vera or any house plant, and she had several little ones growing, and she just broke this one off and handed it to me in my hand. And as you know, I put it in another pot where you couldn't even hardly see it, but it did well there. And so now I've got it in its little pot, so it'll be ready to come inside and hopefully live through the winter. Look at this little daylily shining even in September. And of course the pretty aster there behind it in blue or purple. I'm sure it's called purple. I call this color blue a lot. It does, that's the first I think of when I see it. I think blue. I got my sister a African violet, and she said, "Is it real blue?" And I said, "It's unmistakably blue." And then I set it down beside her purple ones, and it took on the shade of purple. It wasn't quite as purple, but still. So I'm just going to have to call it blue violet and go on. This is another little plant. I'm trying to get a start for Erica because it makes a large yellow bloom. It's so pretty. It just doesn't even look real. It's so pretty. But I'm not sure if it's going to make a root or not. I'm going to try it. And it also, this is a seed from it. I'm not sure how that works either. It may be, it looks like it could be something like a poppy where they just dry and then you kind of shake it and they fall out little teeny tiny seeds. But I'm just not sure about how it works just yet. But I know as much as the gardeners are, the garden itself too is looking forward to cooler weather and less stress on it. It turned out to be such a pretty evening that I decided to go ahead and clean out some of my bird baths while I watered today. And of course they may need to have it done all over again by the time I have my little tour, because I'll definitely need to wait until we have some cooler weather to have guests in the garden. Just look how much better they look. And I went ahead and put some veronica in this little pot, and these do not have their root. I'm trying to root them there. They may or may not root, so but we'll see. And I thought it would be a good idea to have something that would put some fall color on, because this part of the garden has no bloom in the late summer and early fall, so just a little color would look nice over here. Of course in the spring it's covered with iris and then peonies, and then in the summer there's the daylilies blooming. I wish I could find the picture of my great nephew Trey showing me how to get the water out, because I said I don't know how to get my old water out, and he took his little hands and splatted it out. So from then on, that's exactly what I do. I just kind of give it a little swing with my hand, and just till it gets the old stuff out of there. And of course I do it when I've got the water hose on, so I can rinse it out as I go and rinse my hand off as I go. And this is my tools for getting the muck out. I just use like a toilet bowl cleaner. This is just the Works is the name of it. It works wonderfully for me. And then usually a brush will get most of it, but I found that this is it's a weed. It pulls up, not pulls up, but chops down the weeds, and I love it because when they're coming up in the spring and just little masses of them, and you don't want to take the time to pull each one, and the hoe is actually too big to get in a spot where they're coming up. This works perfectly, but it also turned out to work perfectly to get the muck out of here that would not come up with just the brush. So I'm going to do you a before shot of this one, and then if I get the time to clean it today, I'll show you an after shot. I did run out of daylight last night, but it's a new day, and I've got the bird baths all cleaned out now, so they do look so much better, even though there's a lot around the rim I didn't get, but it looks better and I'm satisfied with it. I'm glad the days are getting longer. I'm struggling with trying to get it all done, and we have a grandson that joined the Army, and actually my granddaughter's been trying to get his little get-together to see him off together, and just everything keeps coming up, and I'm so tired. I'm so stressed out about it, just changing stuff around and everything, that it'll be all right. The Lord will be there to guide us and take care of everything. It's just that, like I was saying on a post earlier, sometimes it's hard to know what we need to try to do and what we need to let go. But I don't want to let go of my garden chores. I want to keep it up until the frost takes it away and God gives me the rest that He knows I need. Looks like we're going to have at least a few more daylilies too to bloom before very long. And I love dealing with the garden. Don't get me wrong. It's just been even the things we love, sometimes we can get too tired to do them. But I'm grateful to get to do it. It's wonderful, and it's great, and it's good to have the cooler days, and the cooler mornings and cooler evenings. It's another wonderful evening, and just those promises let me know that soon we'll have full cooler days, and that's wonderful. I'm just always hoping that we have a long fall and just don't rush right into winter. I don't want it to be all over, even though I'm tired. I want time to sit back and enjoy it. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.